like, never like, never like, never like.
Good morning, friends. My name's Arena. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. And for everybody watching, please don't forget, if you enjoy my content, give me that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful stuff. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so it lets you know when I upload new videos. Today's video, I'm really excited because I'm fully immersing myself in my manifesting journey all over again. I've mentioned so many times on this channel that I am a manifester, and I'm such a lover of anything manifesting, visualizing, meditation, all of these sort of things. And what has happened is, over time, as life's got busier and busier, I have kind of lost my way slightly with these things. And I've had the Christmas break, and I've really sat down and thought about what it is that I want to bring back into my life. And this is something that's so authentically me that it was a no-brainer. I cannot remember for the life of me who I was watching or what it was. And no, I can't remember, but if I find the resource, I will put it underneath, because it would have been a really good podcast or something like that. But it was just a matter of asking yourself, what is it that makes you really happy? If you could go right back to basics, and if you could do one thing, or if there's one thing in your life that when you do it, you genuinely feel the happiest you could ever be, and you could do it for nothing, and if there was nothing to be gained from it, you just would do it because you love it so much. I heard this question and I was like, do you know what? For me, it's just being like that manifester. Like, I love anything like this. I've got a massive library of books, and it's all things like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's all The Placebo Effect, A Course in Miracles, Eckhart Tolle. Like, this is what I love to immerse myself in. And Esther Hicks. Like, there's so many incredible like books, resources, YouTube videos, all of which make me feel like limitless. And I think that's the feeling that I want to bring back into my life as deeply and as heavily as I possibly can. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys how I'm going to do this, and how I have manifested over time, and the sort of things that I would do, or the exercises that I maybe would follow, or anything like that. So we're going to go deep into manifesting, and I'm going to basically do videos on just the things that I'm doing, and maybe my stories. And also, I would love if anybody watching would share your experiences and what you've achieved, or if you've tried these exercises and you've manifested amazing things in your life. I would love to hear from you. Like, it's so important for me to kind of share this, and hopefully it will, even if it impacts like one person, I will be so happy anyway. But I'm essentially just sharing with you guys my journey of manifesting as I reinvigorate myself down this path. The first thing that I want to share with you guys, and this is an exercise that I have done before and I have redone, and it is choosing. It's choosing again. And what does this mean? I certainly feel that I start with goals, and I have like a vision board, and I know what I want, etc. Now, I usually reset on like New Year, before we go into a new year, and I create a new vision board, and I create new goals for myself, etc. Now, this is an opportunity for me, and this doesn't have to be New Year's. Like, this is just kind of my reset point. But I get to points where I decide to re-decide. And what does that mean? It means that at some point, it's important to revisit the things that we set ourselves as goals, like whatever you wanted to achieve. it's important to revisit that, because, for example, for me last year, I made my vision board, and a lot of the things, well, the biggest thing on the vision board came true, and then a lot of the little things came true as well. But now going into another year, my goals and where I'm at in my mind and what I've learned over the past year now is going to come into the new vision board I'm going to put out for myself. So I've really stopped and thought, you know, based on what I've done this year, what do I want more of? And what do I not want? And it's important to do an assessment of wants and don't wants, and then understand what is it that's led to you being successful in certain areas, and what have you done that's really worked and that you want to take into the new year with you, or into the new month or whatever. And what is it that perhaps hasn't worked to your advantage and you may want to reduce. And when I say reduce, I'm not saying you're going to think of, oh, I don't want this, so I've got to stop doing it, I've got to stop doing this. My best answer to eliminating something that doesn't work is replacing it with something better, or just being busy with other things, because this is another side sort of point, but for me, I have started to really schedule a lot of things in. And what I have noticed is if my schedule isn't organized, and if there's like blank space and empty space, that's where the bad habits and the pointless things and that previous conditioning will kick in. Unless I've actively focused my time and my actions and my behavior and my schedule, if I haven't focused it so I'm doing the things I want to be doing, it leaves an open space, which is very, very easy to go back to the old habits, back to the, you know, whether it's eating junk, whether it's spending time on social media, whether it's just focusing on negative or unhelpful things, or spending time with people that you know aren't going to be great for you, and just kind of going along with things that you're inside you just know they're not going to bring you good results. So when there's empty space in the diary that I haven't accounted for, that's when kind of the already not so productive habits will sneak in. So a solution to staying focused for me is just making sure you've got a focused month, a focused week, that I schedule things out, that I make meal plans, that I time block my day, those sort of things. Again, we can talk more about this in another video, so if you want me to go into more detail how I'm doing that stuff, then please let me know and I'll happily do another one. But the point that I'm trying to make is it's important to take stock of what's working, what's not working. Now, I'm doing this at the year point, going into another year, but I also tend to do this maybe quarterly. So every 3 months or so, I tend to try and refocus. Ideally, it's not a terrible idea to do it weekly. And that's probably something I'm going to work towards, maybe not as in depth, because you're not going to overhaul everything on a weekly basis, but just reassessing how the past week went, what went well, what didn't go well, and then obviously refocusing into the new week, I think is a really, really great thing to do. But yeah, just taking stock and being quite intentional about what you're going to bring with you in the next period, whatever period you do this for. So this gets me super, super excited because it re-energizes me and I know what I'm trying to achieve. Now, when I'm setting goals as such into the next year, I am simply choosing something different or something new. And the reason why I love reflecting is because there's truth in recognizing that your outer experience, so your life situation right now, is a mirror of your inner experience. And usually I believe there's a bit of a time lag in everything. So most of the time when you decide you're going to change something, it takes a little bit of time to see the payoff of that, because let's say into next year, I want to physically, I want to be able to lift heavier weights, let's say. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but the more I practice and the more I lift the weights and get myself into that place and closer, the more I'm going to see the benefits, and it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to be instant. And I believe this is very similar with anything else we decide to manifest into our life. So for example, let's say you're what you want to manifest in the next year is going to be financial freedom or financial wealth or whatever. Let's say you've got a number in mind. Now, it's not, somebody's probably not going to knock on your door tomorrow and say, here's £1 million or dollars. But what you can do is be very focused and make better decisions, and maybe save a little bit, and maybe make other things priority rather than spending money. And in that mindset, what tends to happen is you will see lots of benefits, but also you get more focused and you get more, you get better at things. And then ultimately it's more realistic that you might be in a position to say, right, I make much more a month, or I have a lot more money spare, or whatever it is you're trying to do. And what I'm trying to say with that is you have to refocus, you have to redecide what you're gonna bring into next year. And then the more you do those things, the more confident you get, the more you expect good things to happen, the more you know you can do it, the more your energy just totally shifts, and you will bring into your life, and I promise you this, you will bring into your life more opportunities, more people, more experiences, all of that. You will bring more things into your life that are going to help you create that success and bring about that outcome. Now, when we're talking about the things that we don't want to bring along, like I said, it's not about thinking about that. It's about replacing those things with better habits. So even if you think, you know what, last year I put on weight. Now, I'm not thinking what I can't eat all year. I'm thinking of what I can eat, and I'm thinking about making a proactive plan, and just thinking about the proactive plan and learning to enjoy that. And all my focus is going to be on that plan. None of my energy and focus is going to go to beating myself up about it, or even if I was to have, like, let's say a cheat day or whatever, I'm not going to spend time on that. My energy is not going to go into beating myself up or being hard on myself or any of that. As soon as, like, let's say even something like that's happened, my energy is going to go back into what do I need to do to do this better again, and to get back on track. And when you're clear, and I think this is what's going to kind of pull it all together, when you've got clarity, and when you're genuinely serious and committed, and you really mean what you say. And this is another thing, I think we can put loads of things on our vision board, we can say we want this and we want that. The truth is, we don't always really, really want it. If we did, we wouldn't compromise, and we wouldn't just be so relaxed about it. And I really do believe in this. For example, I am very, very serious about sleep. I know the impact of sleep on my overall mood, on my health, whether it be mentally, whether it be physically, whether it be, being better at communicating, whatever it is, like throughout anything I'm trying to do, sleep will decide for me if I am at my best that day, or if I'm gonna struggle, if my energy is gonna be low, if my mood's gonna be bad, if I'm not gonna perform as well in anything. So to me, I committed to sleep to a level where I was like, nobody's gonna come in between that. And if I do allow it, because obviously life is life, and there are times where you have to be up later or whatever. If I do that, it's not permanent, and I don't just go, oh, I've already had a late night, let's just go along with it. I can't. So if I make an allowance to have a late night, it's very much planned, and I'll make sure that I recuperate after that, and I'll make sure that it's not constant, and I will make sure to find a way to get myself back to the routine that I stick with. So it's not about being perfect all the time either, because I think that's a misconception. I think there is no such thing as perfection in manifesting, in whatever goals you've set yourself. It's not going to be perfect. Life is not perfect. That is something that I think every single person can agree. But what you will be able to do, and again, referring to an amazing book that I read, is The Compound Effect. you can commit to a little bit better, like 10% better constantly. And yes, fine, you might have like a day where you fell off and you didn't do the thing you should have done and whatever, but that stops there. And for example, for me, the job I do, sometimes I have to travel, sometimes I'm traveling late, sometimes I meet with clients late, and these things will happen, but they are not the norm. And they're not the norm because I choose to make it so, because I'm very, very committed to not making it the norm. Whereas maybe in other areas of my life, for example, exercise, it's the norm that I don't exercise because I'm not fully committed to that. And there's power in accepting that. There's power in being real with yourself about it, instead of saying, you know what, I exercise all the time, but I haven't been exercising for the past 2 weeks, but you know, I'm really, really committed to exercising. That is bull. And number one, I don't believe it personally, and I know that's not true, and I know I'm just lying to everybody whilst lying to myself, and there's no point in that to me. So, but the things that we truly, truly mean and that we're serious about committing to, we know what they are. So at this point, I would say, don't make a half-ass commitment, you know, make a real commitment. And it doesn't have to be a million things that you want to do next year. It can be one thing that's most important to you, but you're gonna go all in. I don't think there's a way around it. If you're not all in, it's probably not gonna manifest. I certainly feel that I know that, like, my inner being just knows when I'm not serious about something. And I can tell myself I am as much as I want, but if I'm not, I'm not. But there are things in my life that I also deeply, deeply know that they're important to me. And we all reach a point, hopefully, where we're ready to commit to the thing that we're trying to change. And I think that is really, really important. So at the core of this conversation is being serious about the commitment that you're about to make. I know when I've really wanted something, I have really, really gone for it. As in, like, my mind was not constricted. I was confident it was going to happen. I had already decided it was going to happen. I'd already felt it was going to happen. I had no doubt in my mind it was going to happen. Now, some people can do that with a lottery win, and some people can do that with really, really big things. Now, that can't work. That may not work for everybody, okay? So there may be some things where you're like, there's just no way. There's just no way I could do that. That's fine, but what you can find is a way in the middle where you can keep yourself positive, and just believing that there is magic in the universe, and that if you just keep yourself focused and working and doing the things that are eventually going to get you there. This is the bit I believe magic also happens, because the things that I've manifested in my life sometimes weren't really, like, really possible, if you know what I'm saying. It's not, I didn't go into that thinking, I'm going to be a millionaire or whatever. But I did know that the thing I wanted was possible if I kept doing what I was doing. And sometimes I'd have a time frame, other times I wouldn't have a time frame. And because I think some things are, you can manifest more powerfully in certain situations and maybe not in others. And again, it's how much you get in your way and all sorts of things like that. Now, this is all what I want to talk about more with you guys. And there's so much depth to manifesting. It's unreal. And it's not the same for everybody. It really isn't. But what it is it's possible for everybody. You might have to tweak the way that you do it. You might have to do things that are more in tune with who you are and that work better for you. And I've tried many, many things, but it is possible. And I think the first thing to do is decide. Like, it's really that simple. Really, truly, and deeply decide what it is you want to manifest. And the other key to that is, do you really want it? Like this, I can't stress this enough. Do you really want it? Are you really, really all in on it? And do you really feel it's that thing that you want? Or is it just something you're putting on your vision board because you think that's what everybody expects, or you think that's what you should do, or maybe that's what would get you recognition, or maybe that's what, you know, your parents would want? That's a big, big, big difference. And in fact, I would say dig quite deep when you're thinking and trying to decide what it is you truly want. There are, I'm gonna do another video on the questions and the exercises that I did when I really tried to dig deep into my soul to find out what it is that I'm truly wanting, what it is I'm truly want to manifest, what it is that I want, who it is that I am, and that sort of stuff. So if that sounds something that you want to join me on, then please don't forget, subscribe, hit that notification bell so it lets you know when I upload new videos, and we can talk all things manifesting in my next ones. I hope to see you there, and thank you once again for watching. Take care, guys.
Never like, I never like, I never like, I never like.